Hello, hello, hello. How y'all doing? This is Adelai Brown, your heart coach, and wanted to jump on and have some heart coach talk with you today. We do life together, and I know that for many people, they're in a tough season right now. I know that a lot of people are going through some things and not really knowing how to process it, not really knowing how to navigate it. You might be experiencing anger and frustration. You might be feeling like you're not where you want to be. You might be feeling like you wish that your life was different. You wish your life was better. You wish you had more of this or more of that. And what I wanted to encourage you with is everything that you desire desires you, especially if you desire good things. The Bible tells us, delight yourself in the Lord, and He'll give you the desires of your heart. And so when I think about my life isn't perfect. Everything isn't going the way I want it to go. However, I'm hopeful. I know that it will get better. I know that this too shall pass. And I believe that as we go throughout our daily walk, we have to remember. For me, I work through my steps. I have a 6-step process, my heart transplant process, divine heart transplant process. And those 6 steps really have transformed my life. And when I look at what I go through, how I navigate challenges, it really always goes back to these 6 steps. And so I wanted to share these steps with you today because I do know that change is hard. I do know that wanting to live the life. Let me let you know something, because a lot of people don't want to tell you this, but it's true. When you decide that you want to grow and live the life that you decide you want to live, it is tough because you realize all of the ways that you have, the beliefs that you have that will not serve you in this new season. It's like if you're someone who, grew up in Alaska, or let's say you grew up in Canada someplace and it's always cold and it's always snowing. Now, your wardrobe may have to change if you now suddenly relocate to Miami, because all of a sudden most of the days you're going to be dealing with weather 75 degrees or higher, and I know in Alaska and Canada it is cold. And so your summers in Miami, you dealing with 100-degree weather, when summers in Alaska, what is it, 40, 50, 60 degrees? So you have to adjust. And in life it's like that. When you're getting in a new relationship or getting out of an old one, right? When you starting a new job, or deciding that you want to navigate and get a new position in the current one that you have. Maybe you are in a situation where you're having to now confront your parents, your siblings, your children, your spouse, your significant other. You're having to talk to them about how you feel. A lot of times we want out of a relationship because we're not being honest about how we feel. Or maybe it's not that we're not being honest, but we don't know how to express that honesty. And what I want to encourage you with, what I want to share with you is that it may not be that you need a new partner. Maybe you just need a new perspective. When you change the way you look at things, the things you're looking at will change. When you change the way see your life will begin to change. When I used to tell a story about growing up with my mom and how I felt about her and how I felt like she didn't love me, and she put her boyfriends before me, that was the perspective I had at that time. I now see that differently. Same situation happened. I cannot change the past, but I can choose to change how I look at the past. But guess what? That's uncomfortable. That's scary. But I have to do it if I want to grow. If I want to be the woman I know God created me to be. If I want to change, and if I want to impact the world the way I know I've been called to impact the world, to grow heart equity, encourage others to live authentic, vulnerable, joyful, brave, courageous lives where they blow their own minds. I'm in a season right now of out of the old comfort zone into the new. And it's definitely a challenge. However, I'm up for the challenge. I know new things are happening. I know I'm in a space where my life is being transformed, and it's scary. So that's why I want to encourage you. Change is scary. Being a better person, a renewed person. When I say better, let me be clear. I feel like you are already as good and as wonderful and amazing as you ever gonna be, but you can always grow and blossom just like a plant. An apple tree doesn't always have apples on it, but it's still an apple tree. And that's how you are. We go through seasons in life. And sometimes you go through winter seasons, you go through your spring seasons, you go through your fall, your summer, then you go through your fall, now you back at winter. And that's the season. That's the cycle. And you have to be willing to do that in your life. So let's look at these 6 steps, and then I'm gonna let you go on about your way. But I truly believe that these 6 steps will help you put things in perspective. Like, you're not bad. There's nothing wrong with you. You deserve love. You deserve joy. You deserve peace. You deserve abundance. You deserve all of those things. Every last one of them, consistently, continuously, from multiple sources, in multiple spaces. However, in order for you, one thing I realize, a lot of people say they want love, they want happiness, they want peace, and when they get it, they fumble it. They mess it up. And you know why? It's because they're not working on themselves. Good morning, how y'all doing? I hope y'all doing well. Let me know where you checking in from. But so the 6 steps are, and I promise, if you apply these steps to your life, it's going to absolutely transform your life. The first step is connection. For me, my faith is rooted in Jesus Christ. And my faith is in Jesus Christ, and that's my connection. So nurturing that connection allows for me to go. Step one is connection. So how do I nurture that connection? I read my Bible, I pray, I meditate, I fellowship, I journal, I reflect, I have conversations with Christ, with God, with Christ, the Holy Spirit. Like, I'm just constantly in a space where I'm seeking God, talking to Him, praying. Those are things that are important. I know you're not getting on here being rude. Oh no, you gonna definitely. I'm driving, but you'll be blocked if you on here being rude, because we don't do that in the Heart Tribe. When we grow in Heart Equity, we're not being disrespectful and inappropriate. There's a time and place for everything. Yes, I'm glad YouTube held that for review. So the first step is connection. The second step is the first step is connection. The second step is awareness. Once you become aware, um, once you become connected, now you can start to become aware. What does that look like? When I started to nurture my relationship with Christ, when I really started to read my Bible, pray, get around people who were loving and caring and in the word and discerning, um, I started to be aware, started to see my life a little differently. So it's the way I describe it is, it's like when I talk to clients about buying a house, and it's like they'll say things like, I just can't save money. I just struggle with saving money. And I'm like, okay, well, let's look at your spending habits, right? So you make the connection, you get the realtor. So now we're looking at, let's become aware. Let's observe your life. Let's look at what you're doing, what you're going through, so that we can see, what's going on, so that we can get you a solution to your problem. So awareness is when you start to reflect and look at your life and look at what's going on. Let's say you're in a relationship right now and you have a problem with your partner, and you feel like your partner is dismissive, or you feel like your partner is too uptight, or you feel like your partner doesn't understand your feelings or doesn't care about your feelings. All right. So when you Awareness, what I do when I work with my clients, and what we do when we do in our heart equity exchanges, and just when we do our trainings, what we do is we look at, okay, what prompts that feeling? Okay, what prompts that feeling? When you are feeling like this person isn't seeing you, or you're irritated by them, what was the feeling before that? And usually it's a, well, I was feeling a little lonely, or I was feeling a little confused, or I was feeling a little I just was feeling uncomfortable. So instead of dealing with that discomfort, you went to project on your partner. Well, I don't feel like you showing me enough love. I don't feel like you showing me enough affection. I don't feel like you're paying me enough attention, or I feel like you don't understand me, right? And it's like, is it that they don't understand you, or is it that you have uncomfortable emotions you don't want to deal with, and you rather them, quote unquote, make you feel better? So awareness is you starting to pay more attention to yourself, right? Hold up, y'all. Let me back up. So awareness is you starting to pay more attention to yourself, right? So you paying more attention to yourself. You're more um you paying more attention. Look at me. I need to get aware while I'm driving, right? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me know where you checking in from. Welcome into some Heart Coach Talk. So yeah, so when you talk about awareness, it's you starting to pay more attention to you. Awareness is the opposite of awareness is to be self-conscious. A lot of times we're like looking at ourselves like, I hope they're not looking at me funny. I hope that they, not thinking about me like this. No, that's self-consciousness. When you're aware, you're like, ooh, that person looked at me. Mm. It felt like, I noticed that when they looked at me, I was uncomfortable. I noticed that, every time I'm feeling like I'm not good enough, I want to go shopping. That's awareness, right? Awareness is like, I notice that every time my child brings home a bad grade on their report card, I am triggered because I remember what I went through when I didn't get good grades in school. That would be awareness, right? Good morning, good morning. Let me know where y'all checking in from. So now we going through the 6 steps, right? So because life is hard and we are helping each other through. Well, welcome from India. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure y'all are here so we can keep growing heart equity together, personal, relational, and financial wealth through authentic living. This is about authentic living. Um, so our first step is connection. Our second step is awareness. Our third step is acceptance. Acceptance is really hard because many of us have been taught to not accept ourselves. Many of us have been taught, thank you, I appreciate that. Many of us have been taught not to accept ourselves. Many of us have been taught to deny what we're feeling, deny why we did it. This is where we start to look at our part in the situation. So I had my father was not in my life. My mother was a single mother, and she dealt with the sickness of addiction to drugs and alcohol, and she also had lupus, right? So dealing with my mother, um, it was tough because um, I knew that my mother would provide for me, give me food, clothes, those type of things, but I didn't feel safe with her. So most of my life, especially my young adult life, I blame my mom. Like, you weren't there, you didn't do, you weren't there for me the way I needed you to. My daddy wasn't there. Why did you have a baby with a man that wasn't going to be in your life? Things like that, right? And when I started to work through these steps, when I got from connection to awareness to acceptance, I had to accept that, my mother was a young mother when she had me. My mother had me for a married man. My mother had come from a family where her father was very verbally abusive. Her mother was passive. in a lot of situations, and so she was trying to figure out how to navigate life in this embarrassing situation, having this baby. And so when I used to tell my story, and that's how I talked earlier in the video about perspective, when I used to tell my story, it was from the victim perspective. And when I started to adapt this mindset of acceptance, I can see how my thoughts and my beliefs play a part in how I'm feeling right now, right? So I can accept that, you know, um, I'm aware that, oh my God, I feel self-conscious. I'm second guessing myself. I'm doubting myself because, I feel afraid. Like right now, I'm working on some new things in my business. And so I'm talking about this because even me working my steps, I'm aware of, man, like, you trying to avoid doing these hard things. And then what do I have to accept? I have to accept that there have been many times that I just didn't believe I could do it. There have been many times that, I felt like I tried before and it didn't work. So I'm afraid to try again, right? And I have to accept that, there were times that I did certain things, made certain decisions that didn't work well for me, right? And which is why I'm feeling like this right now. Like, acceptance is when you really fall into a space of accountability. And when I talk about doing hard work is hard work. I talked about that a couple videos ago. Hard work is hard work, but this is how we change the world. A more scientific version for it would be emotional wellness, emotional intelligence. But it's so much deeper than that, because it's I believe, like, okay, so I'm gonna keep going with the steps, but I just want to encourage you. A lot of the things that you're trying to do, a lot of the goals that you're trying to reach, it's not that you don't have what it takes. It's that you're hurting and you need to heal, and your pain is blocking your success. And these 6 steps will help you chip away and remove that barrier of pain so that you can move into success, however you define it. So from acceptance, we go to forgiveness. And forgiveness is tough because a lot of times we don't want to forgive because we feel like if we forgive, now we letting somebody off the hook. Now, when we forgive, we feel like, oh, if I forgive them, then I'm telling them it was okay with what they did. No. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the person you were trying to poison to die. So let's say you say you gonna off somebody by poisoning them, but you drink it. That's what unforgiveness is. When you are not forgiving of others, whether they're dead or alive, these people could be alive or dead, and you could be one of the people. You gotta forgive yourself. Listen to me. You gotta forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for not knowing. Forgive yourself for not having it. Forgive yourself for not getting it right. Forgive yourself for whatever it is, but you gotta forgive yourself, and then forgive others. Forgive them. Forgive them for not being there for you. Forgive them for stabbing you in the back. Forgive them for stealing from you. Forgive them for talking about you. Forgive them for abandoning you. Forgive them for raping or molesting you. Forgive them. It hurts. Forgive them for the manipulation. Forgive them for the gaslighting, making you feel like something is wrong with you when really something is wrong with them. Forgive them. You know why? Because you have too much to do and you cannot carry that weight with you into this new season. Just like I said earlier, if you're moving from Alaska to Miami, you might not need all those winter jackets. You might not need all those boots and the heavy clothes that you would need in Alaska. You're not going to need that in Miami. You might whip that out once a year. So you got to know where you are. So you got to forgive. You got to be willing to forgive. Forgive quickly because Jesus forgave you. And if you don't know Jesus for your sins, I encourage you to get to know him because you can walk in that peace and that freedom of forgiveness. All right, so let's keep it going. Let's keep it going because I know y'all got to get back to y'all day. And I really just wanted to jump in and say hi. We're going to keep doing these things because I know that this is how we move the needle forward. It's heavy. And I know a lot of people don't have, you don't have heart coaches and people in your life you can have these conversations with. But that's why I want to get on this page. So please like, comment, subscribe, share with anybody that you think would benefit from this type of message, because we got to stop carrying these burdens. It's time for us to heal. All right, so we at step 4. So we've done connection, awareness, acceptance, forgiveness. Now, step 5. 5 is the number of grace. Step 5 is decision. Decision, not choice, decision. So let's say back to the example with the partner. So now you make this connection. Now you aware of, like, your part to play, because this is the thing, we like to talk about what other people are doing or are not doing when you cannot control them. When I work with my clients, I'm very clear, we got to focus on you, because only you can control you. We give our power over to people far too often. We give away our power. We give away our creativity. We give away our peace. We give away our joy. We give away our resources, our money, our finances, our bodies. We give away these things to people and they don't deserve it. We relinquish our control. And what I'm talking to you about is taking back your control in a very healthy, holistic way that doesn't just benefit you, but benefits everybody around you. So step 5 is decision. And whatever you're working through in your life, you got to make a decision. When I was in a former relationship, abusive relationship, I realized, and this is what helped me really lock in on what steps I use. Because in our relationship, I would keep going through the cycle. I would connect with God. I would be aware that I need to do something different. I mean, I would be aware of the problem, accept I need to do something different, forgive myself, forgive him, and then I'm back in the toxic cycle again. And I did that for over 7 years. And it was toxic on both sides. It was abusive on both sides. And when it changed, when I was able to break out of that, and it wasn't just with that romantic relationship, but in many other relationships with friends, professional relationships, this is the process that I have worked through, right? So I made a decision. So when I got out of that toxic cycle, decision helped me get out of that toxic cycle. And when you decide, like, when you choose, you giving yourself different options. When you make a decision, that means you cut off every other option. When you make a decision, that means that you're going to do this thing. And for me, like, I've made a decision that I'm committed to coming here and doing these videos with you. I'm committed to growing heart equity, personal, relational, financial wealth through authentic, vulnerable, real, holistic living. Like, I believe that there are people out there that don't want to hurt other people to get ahead. There are people out there that want to positively impact their communities, their families, their careers, their companies, their businesses. I believe that there are people out there that want to love themselves honestly and authentically and want to pour out from a full cup and not an empty cup. I believe that there are people out there that want to be creative and express more of who they are, but they just don't know how. So I made a decision that I'm going to be growing heart equity, doing heart work as the heart coach. I made a decision years ago that I was going to get out of that abusive relationship, and I took action towards that. So step 5 is decision. Step 6 is take action. So you make a decision. You take everything else off the table and you say, this is what I'm doing. And then step 6, you take action. And 6 is the number of man. So you, in your humanity, move about in your humanity and take action and get it done. So we get connected and then we become aware. From that awareness, we accept. From acceptance, we forgive. Forgiveness, we make a decision. From making a decision, we take action. And then we stay connected and we stay aware and we stay accepting and we keep going through the cycle and our lives keep transforming and changing. My mother died March 11th, 2024. I did not think I would still be here. I did not think, it was sudden. It was not expected. I did not think so. When I think about that, I think about finding her. I think about burying her. I try not to even go so deep in that. The grief is so deep, I don't even always have words for it. However, these 6 steps have helped me to keep moving forward because it's hard when you decide you want to make a change, but it's the best thing for you. It's just like it's hard to push out a baby, but it's such a beautiful blessing. So I want to encourage you that you can do hard things well. I want to encourage you that you were already equipped for whatever it is you're up against right now. I can promise you, you can do it. Like, you can absolutely do it. I believe in you. Like, I truly believe that you can do it. Now, you got to believe it. And you got to be willing to see your life from a different perspective. And for me, working those steps help me and continue to help me see my life from a different, more empowered, holistic perspective. So I encourage you. I love you. God bless you. Remember, we are growing and cultivating heart equity, personal, relational, financial wealth through authentic living. You don't have to be fake. You don't have to be cutthroat. You don't have to be promiscuous. You don't have to be jealous or envious. You don't have to be backbiting. You don't have to be manipulative. But if you would just be your authentic self, you will be amazed at how your life will be transformed. Okay? All right, I'm gonna go drink my coffee out my mama Steelers cup that my little sister Shonda made for her. Check out Triple R Creations if you want your own personalized tumbler as well. So y'all do me a favor, like the video, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But I believe there's somebody that you know that needs this encouragement, and I encourage you to send this video to them. And I just encourage you, I'm praying for you, you pray for me, and we watch God change things in our lives. Okay? All right. So I'll more information about the journal. Remember, next Saturday, every fourth Saturday, Heart Equity Exchange for those of you that want to up level yourself professionally. We do professional development training, personal growth training. I encourage you to get on board. Every Tuesday night, we have our life support group, Heart Talk, live on YouTube, and you can sign up in Zoom. And I just thank you for being here. I love you. God bless you. Um, the journal, the books will be published soon. More information to come with that coming soon. Coming soon. Yeah, we doing it, y'all. We doing it together. I promise you're not alone. You might be by yourself, but you're not alone. Somebody loves you. Somebody cares about you. It's hard, but you can do it. I promise you can do it. Just keep pushing. Okay? All right. Y'all have a great day. This is Adelai Brown, your heart coach, signing out.